Hey, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to another session of Awaken Your Spirit because you know what? I'm the money chick. I'm Julie. And you know what? Money is just the result of you aligning with your heart and your soul and then doing that work in the world, and more money always shows up. David, why are you laughing so much at that?
Because you start talking and then you freeze and then you talk some more and it's all like not catching up electronically. It's funny.
Oh, yeah. There's something wonky with the energy today for sure.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. All right. Well, is it a little bit now better a little bit for people?
Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are in a process of kind of some energy glitches. So if things get a little weird, we're trying to figure it out. And we're really excited to see everybody today. Today we're going to be talking about the mystery of walking into the mystery of the transformation of consciousness.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I know this from talking to clients, but also in my own world, we have there's lots popping up for people. It's like, how do I navigate that one? How do I navigate? It's like, we are the creators of our lives, and it's about in this creation. I really, the last few weeks, I just keep saying, don't focus on the problems, focus on the solutions, you know? And it's so funny because then how do you navigate when you're going through these solutions and you don't necessarily know how it all aligns and how it all is occurring? And it's just fascinating to me to, if you really just take any of these problems that you are experiencing and you just kind of go, yeah, I'm just not even going to deal with that and just keep going on with what you're trying to create and be in the mystery of the creation. Go, I can't give this energy. I can't give this energy. I got to go over here. It's amazing how things are opening up. So that's why, David and I were sitting here talking about, how do we navigate this mystery that's like, it's on some level, there feels like there's some crazy going on, right? Like, how are we getting to this next right place? And while we're questioning it, because the monkey mind can completely take over and completely go to a different place. Why are you laughing so much?
Because it's like whatever is happening electronically, it's like you're talking and then the rest of you catches up with it. It's hilarious. It could be my screen. It could be everybody else's fine but me. I don't know.
Well, this is where you navigate the mystery. Case in point. I know, and then your lips go really fast, and then but you still hear everything, but it's the weirdest thing ever. Yeah. So, David, in the energy this week and people expanding, share with us your wisdom.
Right. So this last week, as I have been working with a lot of different people and different things, I've noticed that there's been a tremendous forces of energy or power. And what I've also noticed is that, so like yesterday, we're having a lot of electrical glitches in really big corporate things. And where major systems were like glitching or whatever. And, I was telling Julie, I was like, yesterday, all day long, I felt weird, not good, not bad, just something felt really different. And so as we talk about the mystery is that we're going, as I've talked about many times, this metamorphosis, we are going from a whole expression of human into a much more escalated, evolved consciousness of light in form or human in form that is going to take us exponentially into, it's like now we're being required to catch up with the technology. And as we and as we move into all this new technology, I was mentioning on one of the with one of the groups I was doing that I was taken into 2027 and how different the technology was. That literally computers at this point were the size of screens were the size of walls, and that they were activated by membranes in the wall, and that literally our energy activated these. And what was so interesting was that as I was being shown all of this, they were going, what's one of your favorite places in the world? I was like, I don't know why this popped in, but the Kyoto Gardens in Japan. And all of a sudden I was shown this whole screen on his wall where I was there. I was simply there in Japan. I was at Arboretum, and they were like, what do you think? And I'm like, this is amazing. I'm here, and
Like
they
a
said, this
virtual
is
reality. Yeah.
how our world's going to change. That we literally, the way we perceive distance, it's like, so, in order, in the old world, the old way you had to go to Japan usually was to get on a jet flight there and go visit the gardens. Well, now you're just going to be able to do that through your computer and be there and have that experience. And you're going to be able to have your friends join you if you want, so our whole spatial thing, our way of how we have orchestrated our lives, how the flow of energy, the flow of time, all of that is up for change and review. And so we as humans, and the way we've been acclimated and programmed to, quote, reality,
Right.
is about to really change radically. And so, that another thing that I was shown was with the whole COVID thing, that because there is so much energy and interest in medicine now to give us these vaccines to heal us, that intention that's global, that focus that's global, is really pushing for a lot of major medical issues to become obsolete. So it could be in a very near future that all this COVID is going to actually relate to curing cancer also, because so much energy, so much money, so much focus has been placed on well-being and healing.
Right.
And even though we may have a issue at the moment, the intention is to go into well-being and healing. So all these energies and the way we're moving our energy, so different from a year ago, right? Or almost a year
Very different.
that we're creating new outcomes and new possibilities. And so for all the challenges, I think ahead of us are incredible, what we're going to consider almost miracles. That's pretty exciting.
Right. Yeah, it really is exciting. It's like, but this is where we have to just really focus on what it is that we want to create, as opposed to what are the challenges today. And that's what I think is so important for all of us to really zone in on. And because the problems and the challenges can consume us. I mean, just look what happened with the presidential election, right? It consumed people. It's like, is that what you want to create moving forward? Is consuming, make your decision and your personal choice and move forward. Like, don't consume yourself, because it will dominate. And I've watched myself in my own personal relationship with my ex-husband, that I can either choose for that to dominate or allow myself to just create what I want with my kids myself. Because there's not a darn thing I can do about whatever experience he's having, and it's about what do I want to create and with my kids, and just keep focusing on that, and I can take this from a business perspective, a personal perspective, my health, my work, my relationships with my kids or employees, or whatever. But it's just really important for us to have that clarity in terms of what your heart is saying to you. I had a client yesterday say to me, Julie, I don't even know what my heart is saying. and she just had a heart attack. And I was like, like her heart literally broke because she's ignored her heart for so long. And that's what happens, that it shows up in our health when we don't align ourselves with our hearts, which is our soul trying to navigate us through the world. And this is why I think the work that you do, David, is so important, because you are a soul activator. Like, that is, you really help people energetically align with their heart and soul so that they can launch themselves into this mystery and be okay with it, because you have a knowing that this is true for me. You know?
Right. And so what I think is, so if we today are kind of looking at the perspective of, wow, maybe in 6 years, our lives are going to be really different, and the technology is going to be extraordinary. And a lot of the things that we used to have to do, kind of in the daily grind, are maybe that's all shifted in a way. So what do we do to prepare ourselves to expand rapidly personally, so that we can be literally up to speed with the technology? And so part of that is that we have to get, I see one of the biggest barriers for humans is their habit of wanting to go into the past to figure out the future.
Right.
And that it's obsolete. It doesn't work. So, it's like, yeah, and as I'm always talking about, opening the heart, right? And that's the doorway into the soul. And like, why is that so important? Because the way most people on the program, on the planet are programmed right now, the minute something happens that triggers them, they'll start going into their past. They'll go into their files. They'll go into the emotional, whatever, and from the past, try to figure out the now and the future. And that doesn't work. What it does is you're trying to push the past into the future. And it's like, I hate to say this, but garbage in, garbage out. We cannot do that anymore. We must go into our hearts. We must, and if you're saying, I don't know how to do that, well, the first thing to do is just decide you want to, that you are going to do it, even if you don't know how you're going to do it. And
yeah,
so
detach. I want people to hear that. They have to detach from the how. And this is coming from a financial planner, which means I really do like the how, very much so. And I have learned on my spiritual journey that you really have to detach from the how, because we have to allow miracles to show up in quantum speed. But when we try to control and do the how, it turns into this like really crazy, format. And it's like, yeah, no. We have to stop trying to control it all, right? Because when you try to control it and try to create the how yourself, then, do what you're guided to do. And that is what everybody keeps talking about being in the flow, being in, like Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, right? It's being with whatever arises, and then the how shows up.
So as we navigate into the future, we are going to need everything possible, all our sensory devices that we hold in our human portfolio, if you will, so that we can, when things start to shift, we can go into the heart, feel that. We can go into our soul level, feel that. We can use into our sensory devices, and once the heart's open fully, then we can go into knowing. And in knowing, we'll go like, okay, what's up here? And I'll tell you an example of that, a very practical example. So all these things that have been maybe at one time esoteric luxuries are all necessary for our survival. They are necessary for our well-being now. They are no longer luxuries. And so what I mean by that is, yesterday I had a list of things I wanted to do. And the first thing I wanted to do was pay a bill. And no matter what I did, I couldn't pay it because electronics wouldn't allow it. They just kept kicking me off. And I'm like, okay, so after a number of minutes with that, I was like, no problem. You know what? I will just, I mean, really what I wanted to do was pay my electric bill. I was trying to do it. Yeah, I always do it either on phone or online. Nothing would work. I'm like, I'll tell you what, I live in an area that's very beautiful. And so going from Sedona to Flagstaff is one of the most glorious drives.
Oh, I
Uh,
see that.
very beautiful. And I was like,
Yeah.
fine, you know what? I'm gonna just go up to Walmart and I'll pay my electric bill there, and I'll have some lunch, I'll have a good time. And I get up there and their whole system is down. And but I had this kind of sassy lady that I liked. She was like, well, let me do a few things. It's been down all morning. And like she said, we got it. We got it. You're good, and it was like, so I was like feeling into all of that and going, okay, there's something majorly going on with major systems right now.
Right.
And what I did is I kind of opened up and I felt into it. And I'm like, how serious is this? And it was like, it just felt like it was momentary. Maybe it would last through the day. And rather than my trying to fight that, which, it's like when I want to get something done and I get pushback, my nature is to push harder until I get it.
Mine too.
And,
Who's
it
with
was
us on that one? Who likes to push
yeah,
back farther? Come
yeah,
on. How has that masculine force been working for you? It's like blowing up like minefields these days. It's like,
yeah.
no, you're not going to push. No, you're not going to push. Because you're not in your heart energy then.
It's sort of kind of the male thing is, well, I'll just go at it until I kill it, which is not very effective, right?
Got it.
So, and definitely had a very alpha male attitude most of my life, especially when it came to energy. It was very powerful in that way. And so for me to learn through opening my heart to go into that other space within me, which is like, step back, open your heart, let the energy flow. Let's kind of go in and see if we can get a sense of what's happening. And so in my knowing, it was like, yeah, it's more of a local thing, I think, than a national thing. And so I just laughed at it all day long. I was like, but the reason that's important is that, as things start shifting and changing, there are other times where I've gone in and I felt something and I'm like, you got to handle this right now. This is serious. And sometimes it's just something in my life coming at me that I can feel something coming at me in energy, and trying to one, recognize it and then deal with it. And sometimes negative energy is coming at me that I need to diffuse. And so it's like if someone's about to send you a bomb, right? Rather than having that energy jack your day, right? It's better to be able to diffuse it. And so one, if you don't take it personally, which most of us, if we get some kind of attack or something come on, we take it personally, that will kick us into the stories, all the stories.
Oh, right.
Right. So then we go into our history and we're going to find the best way to annihilate whatever's coming at us. It's like the flight or fight thing. And that might not be the best use of our energy or our time, where we might go, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go into my heart. I'm going to go into this place of knowing, and where I'm open to a much vaster field of resolution and see the best way to resolve this. So if it's a personal attack from somebody, it might be simply just going into the heart center and going, you know what? This isn't mine. I'm not taking it on. So, this is being sent to me and I'm going to let it go right past me.
Right.
And so these are the practical things. So really what I want to share is that we're in so many breakout moments because we're moving into spectacular new consciousness, new world, new technology. And it requires all of us every day to keep expanding, growing, shifting, transforming. And so it's much better to flow, use the feminine energy to flow through this stuff than it is the masculine version of attack. Because
yes.
right, that will just exhaust you, and it will probably do more damage than it will good. You just have so many people pissed off at you, right?
That is so true. Yeah.
And so for guys out there, that's why you want to open your heart, because it's like you're going to need all the tools, including your divine feminine, open heart, to navigate through the mind fields, as well as the emotional fields, as we go through this metamorphosis into this incredibly new consciousness. And I'll say again, I'm sure I've said this before, but for years I was a designer, so I was always designing homes, reconstructing, all of that. And so in this, it's kind of like what we're doing in our consciousness. It's very metaphorical, but we're taking the house down to the studs, and we're putting in new wiring, new foundation, that's what's being required.
You might even be taking the studs down.
and so we're
concrete.
Yeah. So when we're rebuilding.
Yeah, I think I bought a whole new piece of land and just started a new dig.
Well, right, but it's like whatever. It's like we have these bodies that are our structures.
Yeah, right.
And it's like whenever we were born, we were just kind of in that structure, and it needs upgrade. It needs transformation in order to be up to speed to go into these levels of consciousness that we're going to be required to be in the next 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, right.
We have a lot of work to do. We have to get up to speed, and so it might require rewiring. It might require a lot of things like opening our heart. Everybody resists that. It has to be done. Why? Because you have to get into your soul. You have to get into these higher levels of consciousness that you coexist in, that you can't even probably remember right now. But you got to wake up. Yeah.
So you want to energetically help us start waking up?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, everybody, ready for the ride? Because I can tell you this. This week, David's energy was so strong, and I think you need to dial up the throttle with him this week, David, because I know you like to go easy on people, but I really want everyone who is watching this to feel it, so that you share this work so more people can come join us to get some of this healing, as well as I won't even say healing. I will call it vibrational increase, to raise your vibration. I would need all of you who are watching this to please share this with people on your Facebook pages and stuff, because people need this like air. And I want you to physically actually feel this. So David, if you could ramp it up today so that everybody really feels this, so that they become, I'll call it evangelists for this work, because they've had a profound change for themselves. And then you want to share that, because we're doing this because not that it's not, we're showing up sharing this because people need it like air right now. And we know it, we see it. And I appreciate all those who have been continuously coming back. And remember, even if you miss one of our sessions, you can go back and watch the videos later and you still receive the energy of it. I know it may sound weird to some people, but it is true. It is the case. It's certainly more potent if it's live, I think, but you certainly still get it later. But all right, David, I'll shut up. It's all you.
Okay. All right. So it's more important that you follow the energy. Try not to think about why you're doing what you're doing. Just follow the energy, go with it, relax. So what I'd like you to do is imagine or experience yourself in a pyramid of light, very large pyramid of light, like the Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, huge pyramid of light. And the reason we're using a pyramid of light is because those Egyptians knew how to capture energy and light, and that's what we're doing in this pyramid. So I'm having you actually be in 13 pyramids of light. They're stacked on top of each other. And as that light is coming into the pyramid, there are 3 circles of light at the base of that pyramid of 13 pointed stars, 13 dream rivers, 13 mum dragons. And I want you to feel this force of light coming into your toes, your arches, your heels, feeling that light moving up your legs. Feel it flowing into your hips. And we want to feel that light really at the base of your spine. Just feel a tremendous force of energy or light at the base of the spine. And we're going to place a central sun at the base of the spine. So you're just imagining or feeling the insertion of a radiant sun at the base of the spine. Feel the energy starting to power up. And we're going to move that energy up the spine. And when we get to the heart center, we want to place a central sun at the heart center. We want to feel an explosion of light. We want to feel the heart opening. And I'm going to send a lot of energy into the heart center right now. And for those of you that are unsure, what I'd like you to do is just decide you're going to open your heart, even though you don't know how. Just set the intention that you're going to do that. All right, so we want to really bring that light, that energy into the heart. And I want you to feel your capacity to love. And if it takes you into heartbreak, just get over it and decide you're going to open your heart, get over your story, and just open your heart, because this is the only way you're going to get into higher levels of energy and move into yourself as a magnificent being of light. So let's just keep focusing that energy on the heart. Okay, we're going to let that continue, and we're going to continue taking that light up your spine, into your shoulders. I want you to feel this huge flow of light, like an ocean of light flowing into your shoulders, your upper arms, your lower arms, your hands, your fingers. Feel radiance in your palms as you place a central sun in your palms and your fingertips. Just feel the energy of that vibrating. Perfect. And from there, we're going to go back to the brainstem, placing a central sun at the brainstem and feeling your whole neurostructure of your brain starting to switch on. Feel the energy happening there. And we're going to connect the brainstem through the heart to the brainstem, to the energy at the base of the spine. So what I'm doing is creating a figure 8 of energy from the base of your spine through your heart to the brainstem and back, of just recirculating light that's going to continue throughout this energy work. And we're going to go back to the brainstem. We're going to activate your thymus gland, your hypothalamus, your pituitary gland, and your pineal gland. The pineal gland is in the very center of the brain, and that is the gateway into higher consciousness, higher intelligence in the multiverse. So we're going to place a central sun there, feeling a lot of luminosity and light in that pineal gland. Feel you're connecting into the multiverse, holographic and multidimensional consciousness, as well as connecting into galactic levels of light. Just feel your entire brain just pulsing with light and radiance. And from there, I'm going to have you spiral out your third eye and out your crown, and we're going to start traveling through a galactic corridor of radiant light as light in form. So you are now radiant light in form, merging the plasma of your blood with the plasma that is the central sun, creating a fusion of light. And as you're feeling this fusion of light, feel the radiance of the blood crystals. And just imagine those blood crystals actually turning into like diamonds of radiant light coursing through your entire pulmonary system. Feel your whole body just switching on to this radiant light from the top of your head through your entire physical body. Feel it flowing through your veins, feel it flowing through your hands, your legs, feel it in your feet, just this pulsing light. And so now as you're traveling as light and the speed of light, we're going to go through a galactic gateway and we're going to go directly into an amazing kaleidoscope of fractal light. So this kaleidoscope of fractal or prismatic light is spiraling in a clockwise direction, and feel yourself being pulled in through that spiral. Feel yourself now as and all your light being drawn and interspersed with this radiant fractal light. And as you're traveling through these fractals of light, feel a really powerful cleansing of the energy of your mental, your emotion, your physical. It's just all being cleansed as you're traveling through this just wondrous beauty of fractal light. And feel your heart really switching on. And we're going to go right through the apex of that kaleidoscope into an eye, an all-seeing eye, and directly into the central sun. And as we move into the central sun, I want you to feel a radiance, like you're in a cocoon of radiant light. And in that cocoon of radiant light, just feel just the flow of light coming from above you and below you in spirals of light, really opening and activating your consciousness. Just feel that flow, feel your heart just fully connecting with that light of the central sun. It's just like, feel it just going directly into your third eye, through your heart, and feel the connection of that electric connection of that light. Feeling your entire system switching on, opening up. Yeah, just switching on, tuning on, so that you're feeling this flow of energy and light, feeling this flow of life force, feeling a frequency and of expandedness. And I want you, as you're in this cocoon of light, knowing that you're going through a metamorphosis. And this metamorphosis is part of nature. It's like the caterpillar going into the butterfly. So you're going from human into enlightened human, into galactic human. You're just switching on into much more expansive levels of yourself and your light, going into the multiverse, connecting in, feeling into knowing that when you came to earth, you were going to come into human form, and that you were going to be part of a tribe of humans, of light beings, that were going to go through the human experience. And then there was going to be this a moment in time where there was this huge transformation that happened on the planet, and the humans became far more expanded than they ever dreamed possible. So you are part of that tribe of light that is going through the transformation. You're going through the multiverse. You are going through your entire being filled with light and intelligence, divine intelligence, that is going to create a metamorphosis and an expansion of your lives, of your souls, of your knowing. That's going to be so extraordinary. Your future is so bright. And so as we're going through this transformation, it's very important that we're careful about the stories we tell ourselves right now, because ultimately, a year ago when we started going through the COVID challenge, we also stopped being so outer focused and became more inner focused, because we needed to stay in and we needed to cocoon. We needed to really start to pay attention to not so much to what was going on outside of us, but having a relationship with ourselves. And for some of us, it was much more comfortable than others. But so this whole transformation that you're going through is ultimately going to take you into tremendous levels of expansion. And I'm going to just focus. I'm going to stop talking and just focus the energy for a few minutes.
Would you like music?
So as we're moving with this energy, then the best way to use this energy is to use your intention to decide that you want to open your heart and just tell your heart that. Say, I am ready to open my heart. I'm not sure I know how, but I want to open my heart and I want it to start now. And I want to open to the greater aspects of my being. I want that to be revealed to me in a way that I can understand it and experience it. That I can start moving and opening my heart and having my days feel filled with love, filled with joy. That irregardless of my past, I really choose today and now to open fully and become all I can be, as expanded as I can be. And I know that this doesn't happen instantly, but is a process of unfolding. And, and really, if you ask that, you will receive it. How's that feeling, Julie?
Very good. How is everybody else feeling? Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thank you for sharing that energy with us. Amazing. And again, everyone who's watching, we want to help people raise their vibration, align with their heart and their soul. That's why we're here. And sometimes we don't know consciously the best way to do that. And this is where we just let the energy take us there.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing everybody again next Tuesday, 8 a.m. Central. And please, if you can share this with friends and family so that we can get more people aligned with their heart and soul so that we can all get busy doing what we're supposed to be doing. Thanks, everybody.
Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.